Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carry and Cut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out our Instagram at Carry and Cut and our Patreon at Carry and Cut also. All the proceeds from the Patreon are going to go directly back into the channel to buy new equipment and new knives to hopefully make the quality and the content better for you guys. So we have our tools out again, so you know what that means. We're going to be doing a disassembly and maintenance video on this Civivi Elementum button lock. And this should be a pretty straightforward disassembly video. Definitely excited to see the inner workings of this thing. I know this button lock is a little different than some other button locks I've taken apart, especially since there really is no spring in here. There's a little arm that works back and forth and comes in contact with the button there. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. Excited to break this thing open and see what we got going on here. So we're going to need two drivers. Shouldn't be too bad. We got a T6 and a T8. T8 on the pivot. The body screws, the only thing that's T6 is going to be these pocket clip screws. So let's go ahead and get this pocket clip off here. Of course, always be careful with your T6 screws. You don't want too much pressure. You don't want to make them strip out or break or anything like that. I don't know if you guys seen my CJRB Hectare video, but as soon as I went to take the clip out, the darn screw broke right in half. So that was kind of crazy in the first. So our clip screws, they're going to be the same exact length on both of them. So that's nice to see. Put that over there in the little parts collector. Work over here to our T8. Let's go ahead and get this body screws out of here. There's one. And like all the other videos, I like to keep these in some sort of order. So on the not the non-show side, so the Civivi side, we're going to do the back side first. And we're going to start at the tail of the knife and work our way forward. Just like so. And it's definitely a good idea to keep track of what you're doing and put your screws in, in order, so you know what's going where. And because a lot of times well, not all the time, but sometimes these screws can be different lengths, and mostly they're all going to be the same size, but sometimes they can be different lengths. So you really don't want to get messing up and have to take this thing apart or put it together too many times than you have to. So hopefully, there we go. I felt some tension kind of release right there. Let's go ahead and set that one right there. Okay, we got one scale there. Oop, we got stuff flying apart here. And there is our lock, well, the other liner, I guess you could say, our locking mechanism. And here's our actual button lock. There's our pivot and another bearing. Alright, so what do we got? We got two scales here, two liners. Our pins stay in there. I'm not really sure what all is going on there. The pins, one of them has to be a blade stop, and the other one must just be for support somewhere. So there's going to be our blade stop hole right there where that one's going to go. Then the back one, I'm not really sure what's going on there. There is no cutout on that one either, so must just be some kind of support for it to ride on is what I'm guessing. We got a blade, backspacer, and there's another stop pin. Wherever that dude goes. Not 100% sure on that one. We'll get that figured out. Okay, and also we have two bearings. And there's our push button. So, not too much going on here. Let's go ahead and get a Q-tip out. This knife seems to be really clean. Jimmie, oh, almost forgot to mention, this is one of Jimmie Crowe's knife. Sorry about that, Jimmie. So, huge shout out to Jimmie. It wouldn't be possible without him, the support of him and all you other awesome subscribers sending in your stuff for us to take a look at and review and go over. So, definitely awesome to see. Let's go ahead and get that nice little, I guess we could probably take our pin out of there too. Heck with it, might as well. Take this thing all the way apart for you guys and see how this thing works. So I'm interested too. I know all the other button locks that I've taken apart. It's only been I think 2 or 3 of them, but they've all had that crazy button, the crazy spring in there that your button go flying or whatever else, and it's kind of different seeing a whole different setup on this one. And I think this one would be a safer, option, I guess. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but it's pretty cool how they figured that out. Definitely interesting. Get our scale wiped off there. Pretty good. Get our blade cleaned up here. Anywhere those washers are going to be riding, let's get a nice little clean surface on it. And one thing I gotta say about this 14C on this blade is awesome. I really am a huge fan of 14C 28N. I think it's gonna be my all-time favorite budget steel. Love that stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and get going with our liner here. What side are we going to start on here? Let's start on the push button side. All right. Oops, sorry, I got you guys off camera here. Sorry about that. I almost forgot to mention too, our pivot is definitely, I thought it was going to be a D-shaped pivot, but it definitely, is it? No, it's not, but there is going to be a little tab right there, if you guys can see that. That's going to ride onto our, it's going to be on our scale or something. One of these. Oh, that's right there. I don't see that or not. Right there, that little nubbin right there, that's where your pivot's going to sit on, so that's going to be pretty handy when we go to put this thing together. So you can only orientate it one way. There it goes, locks right in just like that. Alright, we're going to throw our button in there also. Maybe. There we go, just like so. Sorry guys, kind of getting you all off balance here. So one of our pins are going to go in right there. Another one's going to go right here. These are definitely a little finicky. There's a good bit of parts going on with this knife, so we just need to be careful and pay attention to what you're exactly doing. Maybe this one goes in here. That's definitely something to look at. These are not all the same size, so that's going to be very important to pay attention to. Something like that, maybe. We'll throw our backspacer on there too. Oh, that's your lanyard post. That's what that is. Couldn't figure out what the heck that was at first, but that's definitely going to be for your lanyard. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. I hope so. And of course these bearings, let's go ahead and get these little wiped down too. This knife did have incredibly smooth action from the get-go. And I've been saying this in some of our other videos. These bearings have like a dished out section right there. So you can kind of see that lip, that ridge. You want that facing down on the liner. So you want the bearing side sticking up, making contact with the knife blade. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of KPL on it right here. Then I'm just winging this one. I'm not really sure how this whole, oh, I almost did it backwards, exactly what I told you guys. So I'm not really sure what all's going on right here. You're pushing the button in and it's somehow releasing that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of actually goes back together. So definitely not worried about it, but we'll figure it out. Maybe the button's got to go in after. Slide him in there like that. Yes, no, maybe so. There it went. Oh, now it went in there too far. Darn it. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I hope so. Let's go ahead and put a little more KPL on this side of the race. Still haven't figured out if that's exactly what you want to call these or not, but I like to call it the race. Alright, make sure we got our washer going, bearings going the right way. A little more KPL on there. And this is going to be our actual button lock part of it. We'll just have to see how it's looking when we put this thing together. I'm not 100% sure if we got this going the right way or not, but we're gonna give it a shot and see. Definitely doesn't act like it wants to stay locked right now, so this is kind of trial and error. You guys are gonna learn with me as I'm learning. So if we make any mistakes, we'll be able to figure it out together. Let's go ahead and run this pivot down just a little bit for now, so everything kind of stays somewhat together. I think I see what I did there. I think I should have put it together from the other side. You guys can see that. Yeah, definitely got something wonky going on here. That was definitely the wrong way to go about that. Like I said, this one is definitely completely different than some of the other ones that I've worked on. How do we want to do this? Shouldn't be that difficult. Famous words, shouldn't be. Oh shoot. Did it now. Darn thing's got me flustered. It always seems like these button locks, they always kick my butt sometimes. It kind of rides on that ridge right there. It's kind of hard to... Like I got that on there backwards. That could probably be an issue for us too. Alright, let's try that again. So our button... There we go. Come on, get in there, booger. I just need another hand. There we go. So I think right now our button is going to be depressed. So if we go ahead and slide our keeping pressure on this, I'm hoping this is going to work out better than the last time. Let's go ahead and thread this back down on here. Let's go ahead and thread. Okay, we definitely got something going there. Yep. Alright. I guess that wasn't too bad. That's kind of, I know I did a poor job of demonstrating how you actually do that, but you definitely got to, you guys, I don't know if you can see that or not, but when we depress that button, you can kind of see that liner riding down on there. So you're going to want to put the liner on top of the actual button itself. So I think we got our pivot a little too tight there, but yeah, we'll go ahead and loosen that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get some pocket screws in here. Or some, not pocket screws, but body screws. Let's get our Locktite going. Get our first T6 right here. These are T8s. Sorry. Just talked about how all the body clips or body screws were T8s and how awesome that Civivi was doing that. So let's go ahead and run that one right in there first. Okay. Get our next one in there. Just like so. Alright, flip it over, do the same thing on this side. Alright, and hopefully you guys kind of caught the idea of how that worked. There really isn't a whole lot going on. It's just you got to get everything lined up just right and keep that pressure down on it. And it's I wouldn't say it was difficult, not the hardest one I've ever put together, anything like that. So just something you got to be, you know, kind of meticulous with and take your time, figure out what's going on. And you know, the more you take these things apart, all different kind of knives, they all kind of resemble each other, and there really is nothing too crazy about them. So what I can say is my advice is don't be afraid of them. So let's go ahead and loosen that back up just a touch. So our centering is definitely not looking very well. Let's go ahead and see if that can come back any more. That looks about right on the money right there. Check our centering again. Almost looks pretty much right on the money. Maybe just a fuzz tighter. You don't want to get it too tight though, then your action's not going to be that crazy swinging action that this thing's known for. So a lot of people like this, a lot of people don't. You know, I personally would prefer a another opening method than just a button, but you know, I'm a sucker for a flipper tab, and I really do love a fuller or some kind of thumb hole you can get your finger in there and flick that open. So let's go ahead and throw our clip back on here, and just gonna run the top of these right on the. Sometimes these clips are kind of tricky to get the screws lined up just right when you take them out of the clip, so I always just like to keep them in there, run a little Locktite on them. Don't have to get nothing too crazy. These are T6. And all the tools I have are going to be linked down in the description. If you guys like to check them out, feel free. It does help our channel when you use our links, but it's completely up to you. They are all of our tools are, you know, fairly inexpensive and highly recommendable. All the videos that you see me do are done with all the tools that I got. So I think that's going to be it for this one. It's kind of simple, not too bad. Definitely don't think should give you guys any of you too hard of a time to get everything done how you like it to. But until next time, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.